Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, Prof. Ian as our lecturer. Good morning, my friends. How are you? I hope you find healthy and always in good condition. Today is our group. We will discuss about language variation, where the first presenter is Mas Aris Ardianto Putra, and the second presenter is me, Siti Mukaromah. In the part 2 of language variation, there are data collection and analysis. Once an investigator has made some decision concerning which social variables must be taken into account and has formed a hypothesis about a possible relationship between social and linguistic variation, the next task becomes one of collecting data that will either confirm or refute that hypothesis. In sociolinguistics, collecting data has two basic dimensions. The first, devising some kind plan for collecting relevant data, and the next, collecting such data from a representative sample of speakers. The observer's paradox. What is the observer's paradox? In almost every possible situation, there is one variable that cannot be controlled in every possible way, namely the observer, or recorder, or analyzer, or investigator, or theorist him or herself. Even data recorded by remote means, for example by hidden cameras and sound recorders, may not be entirely clean and will require us to address additional ethical issues which severely limits what we can do and which we would be extremely unwise to disregard. The observer's paradox was introduced by Labov, 1972, who noted that the aim of linguistic research in the community must be to find out how people talk when they are not being systematically observed. Yet, we can only obtain this data by systemic observation. The Sociolinguistic Interview. The methodology in sociolinguistics is geared toward having the research participants provide speech in context. That is, the interviewer manipulates the context to try to have interviewees focus more or less on how they are speaking. Sampling. What is the problem with sampling in sociolinguistic research? Anyone know? Let's see. The problem is finding a representative group of speakers. If we choose the sample badly, we cannot generalize beyond the actual group that comprised the sample. A genuine sample drawn from the population must be thoroughly representative and completely unbiased. Apparent time and real time. Investigations may also have a time dimension to them because one purpose of sociolinguistic studies is trying to understand language change. There are two kinds of studies in this term. The first is a parent time study. A parent time study is a study in which the subjects are grouped by age. For example, people in their 20s, 50s, 60s, and so on. Any differences found in their behavior may then be associated with changes that are occurring in the language. The second kind is a real-time studies. Real-time studies elicit the same kind of data after an interval of say 10, 20, or 30 years. If the same informants are involved, this would be a panel study. But if different people are used, it would be in trend study. Correlations, dependent and independent variables. To avoid the problems just mentioned above, we must distinguish between dependent variables and independent variables. As Chambers, 2003, in page 26, expresses it, socially significant linguistic variation requires correlation. The dependent or linguistic variables must change when some independent variable changes. Quantitative Sociolinguistics. This kind of sociolinguistic investigation is often called quantitative sociolinguistics or variationist sociolinguistics. And it is, as we have indicated previously, for some sociolinguistics, the heart of sociolinguistics. Chambers 2003. Quantitative studies must therefore be statistically sound if they are to be useful. They must be sure that what they are doing is both valid and reliable. Conclusion. We can take the conclusion from language variation. The first is that in this chapter we present an overview of the development of research on regional dialects, including methodologies used to create dialect maps and study the patterns in local vernaculars. We also introduce the concept of the linguistic variable, which is central to linguistics and variationist sociolinguistics in particular. We review some early important work on regional varieties of English by well-known sociolinguistics, who were responsible for the growth of the field. Further, we look at social dialects and how they are studied, focusing in particular on social class, and what methodologies have traditionally been used to study this variation. I think this is all our presentation. I ask apologies to you if there is a mistake from me or from us. Happy fasting, good luck, thank you for watching, thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning.